All right, guys, welcome to Thursday night 7-Day Weekend Mentors webinar with myself, Aaron Ellis, and
Shane Carlin coming at you from Vancouver, guys. I hope you are all having an awesome Thursday. We really appreciate you taking some time here. We've got people on our webinar here. We've got people watching us in several different groups on Facebook and also live on Aaron and I's personal Facebook feed. So hopefully enough people are able to see this, guys. We're really excited to share the content we're going to share with you tonight. I met Aaron earlier last year, and since then we've become basically best friends, and we have been partnering up on a whole bunch of different ventures. We were serial entrepreneurs. Aaron has had a ton of success running gyms and other businesses. He's also a very successful musician, which I think is why we also get along, because we're both loving the rock star lifestyle. But we've also been just very passionate about coaching and mentoring people and helping people accomplish their best. And really, you guys might want to know what the name 7-Day Weekend Mentors is all about. Well, it's about helping people become their fullest selves and literally accomplish, 7-day weekends, which, we're not talking party all the time. That's not our idea of a weekend. But think about when the weekend hits. That's literally most people's favorite time of the entire week, because you're yourself. You're doing the things that you want. You're living the life that you want. You're with your family. You're with your friends. You're out enjoying life. Maybe you're hiking. Maybe you're skiing. Maybe you're snowboarding. Maybe you're surfing. Maybe you're just traveling around, or maybe you're just visiting family. Whatever it is for you. But in those moments is typically when people are their fullest selves. And then Monday hits, or Sunday night, and the dread and the fear of going back to work Monday morning. And then people go into work 9 to 5. And during those hours, most people don't really enjoy their lives. They're not really a complete full person. And we've made it a mission that we want to be able to impact millions of people's lives in a very strong, profound way by helping people benefit from the collective wisdom and experience that Aaron and I, as entrepreneurs and freedom fighters, have been able to accrue. We've been able to help hundreds, or actually, I guess we've been able to help thousands of people, but we really want to make a goal to help, like I said, millions of people. So I'm very excited. Aaron's going to kick this off. He has really put together an incredible presentation for you guys here tonight. And so I'm going to add in some extra commentary. But Aaron, why don't you go ahead and kick it off?
Absolutely. Thanks, Shane. And just to add what he said, guys, one of the other things we wanted to do is we want to support everybody. So whether you're an entrepreneur or you're someone who is curious about what that even means, or you're trying to get into better health, or you're trying to have a better relationship, everything we talk about is for everybody across the board. All the truths that we're going to share with you are actually able to apply to and flow through every aspect of your life. So stay tuned. Listen to what we're sharing tonight, and let's just get it going right now. All right, so we are tonight are going to be talking about aligning your mindset with success, okay? Shane and I talk about personal development a lot. Anybody you meet who has any achieved level of success and held on to that success has gone through a lot of growth, a lot of change. I always say that you can't grow your outer world until you grow your inner world. And your outer world is literally a direct reflection of where you've grown your inner world. So your relationship with your finances, your relationship with your loved ones, your relationship with your job, your relationship with your car, your relationship with your health and fitness levels is all based on the growth you have achieved with your inner relationship with yourself. So that's what we're talking about tonight. And basically, aligning your mindset with success starts with understanding that success is an inside job. It starts from the inside out. We're going to walk you guys through exactly what we mean by that tonight. And like I said, we got some giveaways at the end. We got some incredible things to tell you guys, so stay tuned to the end. We're going to try to wrap this up in about 35, 40 minutes. Shane, do you have anything you want to add on to this before I dive into the slides?
You know what, guys? When you can manage this connection here, okay, someone told me you can travel the entire world, and I know a lot of people who travel. I love to travel. I love helping people. I love doing a lot of stuff. But the biggest journey in my life ever, and I'm sure it's the biggest journey in your life, in Aaron's life, in everyone's life, is not the journey around the globe. It's not trying to make a whole bunch of money. It's not accruing massive wealth and riches. It's the journey from here. I hope you can see me. It's the journey from your head to your heart. It's the longest journey of our lives. It's the best journey. It's the most rewarding journey. But really, at the end of the day, guys, it's pointing here. It's pointing inward. We have to learn how to manage this and get this right. When you get your heart right, when you get your mind and your soul right, everything else flows and everything else goes real easy. So go ahead, Aaron. Let's start rocking it.
All right. So we're going to talk about first on how most people flow through life. Okay. Most people are flowing through life, and we've been conditioned to do this. And even when you find that inner space, you're still going to be conditioned to do this in some areas. But most people are going through life basically looking at the world and deciding what they like and what they don't like, and what hurts and what's painful, what's pleasurable, and what they want less of and what they want more of. Okay. So I want to step out of that for a second and talk about the biology of the brain and the body. So we have basically our neocortex, which is the outer part of the brain. This is where all our language is, where our 26-letter alphabet, or however many letters are in your alphabet, depending on where in the world you are. This is where we reason. This is where we analyze. This is where we basically tell the story of our life. Then there is the limbic brain. Now, the limbic brain has no language whatsoever, no intellect whatsoever. It's 100% feeling and emotion. Then the body and the heart are connected to the limbic brain. So again, the body's connected to the limbic brain flowing through the neocortex. However, most people are flowing from the outside through the neocortex into the body. So what that looks like is this. You see something you don't like, something causes you pain, it's something you don't want in your life. Your neocortex, you judge it as bad. Limbic brain, you feel an emotion you don't like, it's bad emotion, and you close. Your body literally physically closes. You'll feel sick, you might feel nauseous, you just want to get away from it. Then you see something you like, you love it, you want more of it. Neocortex says that's good, that's right. Emotion in the brain's positive, you literally open up to the world physically. This is how it works. I'm not just talking about theory and philosophy here. I'm talking about literally the way the physical body functions, okay? So most people, like I said, are walking through life saying, I don't like that, I like that. That's wrong, that's right, right? So they're building basically preferences. There's nothing wrong with preferences. It's about how you flow through them. And basically people are flowing from the outside in with this. And with that, they believe that the results they're seeking is their reason why to do things. I don't want that result, so I want this result. And that's my reason why for going into my neocortex in my head and figuring out what I need to do to avoid this and get more of that. And they believe the solution is in their brain, in their neocortex. Now, the brain is amazing. Knowledge is amazing. Understanding is amazing. All that stuff is amazing. Yet when it's flowing from the outside in, that's where the struggle comes. That's where we get frustrated. That's where we don't understand what's going on with our lives, and we actually have problems. So what this basically looks like, again, seeing things we don't like, seeing things we like. We basically love life and we feel encouraged when we like stuff and it's right. You know, I love my life. Things are going so well right now. And then when things don't go our way, something we don't like, it's painful, we don't love life. We're discouraged. We feel like a victim. We blame this, that, or they, the person, the weather, the job, the relationship, the person in the relationship. It is bad. It is wrong. What I need to do is find a better job, a better business, a better workout plan, a better spouse, a better partner, and then everything will be great. We get stuck in the head, flowing this way, okay? Shane, I'm going to pass this over to you, see if you have anything to add on to this one before I go to the next slide.
Yeah, guys, this is such a powerful thing to understand is when you understand how we process things and how we receive information and how to understand that, like, okay, I want to break something down. So there's a part of the brain called the amygdala. I'm going to explain this. Again, we're talking about chemistry. We're going to show you how this all ties in, but there's this part of the brain called the amygdala. Now, that is the center of the brain. It's the oldest part of the brain, and it is what receives information first. Okay, now, your past experiences, your subconscious beliefs, and where your heart is at actually affects how you receive stimulus. Okay? So in other words, I see something, I hear something, I feel something, I taste something, I smell something. Your senses go off. That is first received there, amygdala. Now, that's fight or flight, run or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's fight or flight. It's is this good for me? Is this bad for me? Am I safe? Am I not safe? Should I eat this? Should I not eat this? Should I, like that's what your amygdala does. It's receiving information on a very reptilian, very basic, very instinctual level. From there, it goes to our reasoning process. So we're now, your brain is figuring out what to do with this information. And then ultimately information ends up at your neocortex where you're thinking and reasoning. Now, where the limbic brain comes in is your heart, where your heart is at. And that actually affects the first reaction, the impulse of your amygdala. Let me give you an example. Okay, so if you're walking down the street at night, or if you're walking down an alley at night, you shouldn't, but if you're walking down the street, a random street in the alley in the middle of the night, and you see a bunch of people who look real shady behind you, okay, you're in a bad situation. You don't know who these people are. There's no relation. Or if someone just was to hop out from behind a dumpster, for example, your first instinct would be to either run away, scare, or punch him in the face. You would react. Now, let's just say that if the same situation happened, but it was someone that you had a very strong relationship with, that you knew that person, you would have a very first reaction, but again, your heart would instantly recognize and it would change your reaction, okay? Because you have a relationship. So the limbic brain, that's where it ties in the heart-brain connection. So again, it affects your first response. Now that's going to affect a lot of things if you understand what we're talking about. But as we move forward here, I want you to understand that when it comes to communication, when it comes to this connection, here's where one of the biggest disconnects we have in just building human relationships is. We think and we speak, we create ideas from the neocortex, but we think that most people receive information the same way that we're thinking about it. But they don't receive information first to their neocortex. First, it goes to the amygdala. And again, depending on where that heart is at, where that person's heart is at, will affect the impulse that it sends, which affects how it reasons things out, which affects how it goes to the neocortex. So which is why, you can get away with a lot more with a good friend than you can with someone who you don't know. All right. So I'll leave that I'll leave that there for you, Aaron, to kind of jam out on. But guys, we're going to be talking a lot more about this dynamic relationship between your heart and mind, how it actually works. And we'll play it out, how it can start benefiting you when you learn about this association and how to properly change your paradigm and your perception around it so that you can have different outcomes. Go ahead, Aaron.
Thank you so much. And I said this earlier too, and I love how we compliment each other. It's like I'm constantly in a state of gratitude when I listen to you. I'm like, wow, he's expanding my knowledge of what I just shared. It's amazing. So thank you for that. All right. So when we're in this state, that limbic brain is emotional and we are reactive. We're reacting. I don't like this. I like that. We're in a reactive state. Okay. Now moving on, how successful people flow through life. It's from the inside out. Okay. Now, as you learn this, there's going to be areas where you're flowing freely from the inside out, and then you're going to run into these roadblocks where you're basically reactive again. And that's when that's an opportunity life is giving you to shift, and this is an area I'm not flowing from the inside out yet. Cool. Thank you, life, for bringing this to my attention, and you can shift it. So basically what happens when you are flowing from the inside out is I love my life and I'm inspired. Okay. You understand that everything is a blessing, whether it's a lesson or the statement of everything's a lesson or a blessing. No, it's everything is a lesson and a blessing, because there's no time in your life where you went through a lesson that you didn't feel blessed, honestly, if you look back. So everything is a blessing, so you see things differently. Now, when you run into those areas where you're interrupted, where you feel like you hit a wall, where you become reactive again, instead of being discouraged and victimized, you still love your life and you become curious. Like, what's going on here? How come I'm flowing that way here? And you know that the peace and the freedom you're seeking is on the other side of that, in shifting that flow from the inside out to flow through it. So as I was saying before, people are thinking that their reason why is the results they're seeking. They're seeking no more of this and more of this, right? I don't like that. I like this. I don't want this. I want that, right? So they believe the results are the reason why, and they believe the what they do is actually the solution. That's actually not true. Your results are just your results. When you flow from within, or excuse me, actually when you flow from it out and you're results oriented like that in reactive state, you may motivate yourself and achieve something, but you'll never be fulfilled and you'll never be able to hold on to it. Now think about this when it comes to like this time of year when people are wanting to get into better physical shape, okay? Every year, a lot of times for some of you, you might have done this year after year or multiple times throughout the year where, okay, you're like, I don't like the way I look. I hate the way I look in the mirror. I can't fit into my clothes. I'm overweight. What happened to my old body? I feel horrible. I need to work out, right? So what do I need to do so I don't have those feelings anymore and I feel good? Oh, I know this year I'm going to try CrossFit, and then that doesn't work. And then the next year it's, Zumba is the best thing. Next time you're going to do kickboxing. And you think that when this one fails, this one fails, this one fails, that it's the what. So you come up with the next what, and then you become so motivated and excited about it. You're telling all your friends, you got to come kickboxing with me. You got to come do Zumba. You got to go lift weights with me, right? And then it pitters out and it doesn't work because you're flowing from the outside in, from a state of motivation, of a motivation to get away from what you don't want. People think they're motivated to get towards what they do want, but when it's built from the foundation of getting away from and avoiding and being afraid of what they don't want, then they do not get it. Or if they do, they can't hold on to it. So when we shift that flow, you're in a flow of love towards what you're looking at that you want and what you're looking at that you don't want. Now, some people, when we're talking about the whole health and fitness phase in my gym businesses and even in my coaching days today, they're like, well, Aaron, I don't love myself. I can't look in the mirror and say, hey, I love you, and I'm the great and I look wonderful the way I am and I love myself on the inside. All that stuff is BS, guys. If you don't believe it, you can't do that. I'm not saying loving yourself in that sense. I'm saying you need to be in a facet of love. So I don't want this. I don't like the way my body has become. I don't like my weight. I don't like that I can't fit in my clothes. I don't like that I can't look in the mirror. I'm in a state of awareness that that's where I'm at, and I accept that that's where I'm at. Not resignation to where I'm at, that it's always going to be that way, but I'm accepting that's where I'm at. And with that acceptance, understanding that the wake does not drive the boat, that this is where I have been and this is where I'm going. Now, guess what? Awareness and acceptance are facets of love, okay? You've now shifted that flow from the outside in to the inside out. Flowing with acceptance and understanding, compassion towards yourself will get you the results you want and allow you to keep up and hold on to them. Now, it'll be a continuous process, of course, right? But you're no longer flowing with fear. So again, it's a facet of love. It doesn't mean you're huggy, lovey-dovey, I love myself in the mirror and stuff like that. Or if this isn't a business thing where you're trying to learn a new skill set, like, I can't figure this out. Maybe I should do this because I don't understand. You're actually in a state of acceptance, which is love, okay? Think of a diamond. A diamond shines rainbows and shimmers light all over the room because of the facets, not just one facet. Just as with you, when you're flowing in a state of love, which is what you are, all your facets are shining bright and your light shines bright. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about, the difference between flowing from the outside, being reactive, and then flowing from the inside through the limbic brain, up through the neocortex through life, right? And then you're going on feeling and you're in a state of action. Now, I'm going to pause on this for a second and talk about the feeling thing. What I mean by feeling is when you are in a state of flowing from the outside in, you're reactive. You're reacting to everything. There's an emotional charge there. You're making it bad or you're making it good. You're making it wrong or you're making, this is so right, right? When you're flowing from the inside, you're going off of feeling, okay? You have that intuitive flow that this is right for me. Even if it's something you fear, where before you avoided it, you didn't want to even talk about it, now you are willing to go through it, and there's an underlying feeling of peace under it, around it, within it, flowing through it. Doesn't mean it feels great, doesn't mean the pain is there, gone, or the struggle is gone, but you're flowing through that struggle now from the inside out with compassion and understanding, and you're meeting yourself where you're at. So when I say feeling, basically, I'm meaning flowing from the inside, your limbic brain triggers a feeling, which is defined in what you do. When you're coming from the outside in, it's a reactive state, which is an emotion, which closes you. So you're actually going through life open this way, okay? And as soon as you run into that wall and you close, you're like, what's going on? You shift to being open again, where you see something you don't like, right? But you're flowing through what you don't like with acceptance now and awareness now. So you've now shifted avoidance into awareness and acceptance and allowance and flow through it. Shane, I'm going to pass this back to you now.
Yeah, thanks. So guys, I think what you can sum this up as is it's the victim versus the warrior of the heart. And you can perceive the world as things are happening to you, which is, you're battling against the world in that aspect, or you can switch it and everything, literally everything is unfolding and happening for you, right? And it really, it comes from what you choose to, and we're going to talk about choice in a few minutes here, but it comes from choices, guys. You can choose to be the warrior, accountable, responsible. Look, I personally, me, Shane Carling, I accept full responsibility for all of the things that have happened in my life. The bad stuff, the good stuff, I accept responsibility for all of my mistakes. I did that, I Steve Urkel all over my life, you know what I mean? But to be able to own that and to come from a place of non-attachment, to come from a place of love, to come from a place of a willingness to be humble, to a willingness to serve other people, to a willingness to repent or turn away from things that were not working for me, to things that were off point, you know what I mean? To continuously work on my life from a place of gratitude, from a place of appreciation. It allows me to overcome obstacles in a way that is joyous. Things happen in life, but they happen for me. And again, when you're coming at it like this, when you're flowing through life from a place of heart, right? A place of love, of unconditional forgiveness, of acceptance, of non-attachment, then you really do accomplish true freedom in your life. But when you're going at it like things are happening to me, playing the victim card, things get harder and what you focus on expands. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. So Aaron, you can whip it over to the next slide and I think we'll dive right into it.
Perfect. All right. So let's talk about the difference of what it's like to flow from within from the outside in and to flow from the inside out. Remember how we said when we're flowing from the outside in, we're reactive. We don't like something and we want something. We don't like this, we like this, right? So when we don't like something, we become motivated to do something about it, to figure out what we need to do to get away from that and get to this, right? So motivation in the beginning can feel good. It can feel motivating. It can really get you going and drive you, but it is finite. It comes to an end. Inevitably, it comes to an end. Most people cannot actually maintain motivation when it's flowing from the outside in. And what usually happens is you set a goal and you carry that goal through to completion, or you attempt to carry that goal through to completion. Now, oftentimes it comes at a cost with sacrifice and compromise and hurting yourself and others in the process. Typically what happens is, in my world, when I've been flowing like that and I'm trying to reach a goal, is first thing to go is my self-care. I stop taking care of myself. I stop eating right. I stop working out as often. I stop sleeping well. And then what happens then, it turns into, I'm going to say it the way it came up, but it didn't feel good the way it came up. It turns into neglecting my daughter. And what I mean by that is I'm still spending time with her, but when I'm in that flow, I'm in my head, right? And I'm trying to be present with my daughter, and I can't be. I can't stop thinking about what's going on because I'm in a reactive state, because I'm trying to meet my goal. I'm trying to do it. And it's finite, and it becomes not fun constantly. And if you do reach your goal, again, you're never able to hold on to it. It's typically you've sacrificed so much that you're completely out of balance. Physically, you're out of balance. Mentally, sometimes you're out of balance. Your relationships are out of balance. You've neglected your friends, whatever it may be. And you've done it saying it'll all be worth it when I get there, when I get here, when I get this money, when I get this body, when I get that stuff. And you believe that it's all going to be worth it. Now, when we're flowing from the inside out, that's called inspiration. Inspiration is literally, the root of that word is in spirit. Okay, guys? You're flowing from within. Now, you're not being reactive. You're in a state of action. You're seeking inspiration. And I use this to think about everything I'm doing. My thoughts, what am I doing? Am I feeling inspired doing this? Am I in a state of inspiration? Usually, and remember, it's not in what I'm doing that determines that. It's how I'm flowing through it. So I'm like, okay, I'm reactive right now. I need to work through some stuff. Life gives me an obstacle or a stepping stone. And every time life gives me an obstacle, I understand that it's life's way of saying, Aaron, you have grown as far as you can outwardly until you go back inwardly and make some shifts and make some growth. And then I will allow you to expand further. That's what obstacles are. That's what stepping stones are. The reminders to go back within. Now, when we're in a state of inspiration, we are carried through to completion. Whereas before, we carried a goal through to completion. We're the ones that are carried through to completion. Now, what I mean by that is when you actually go through this process, and maybe there's been areas in your life where you have, when you actually achieve what you wanted to achieve, it's not even that. The whole reality of it's not the destination, it's the journey totally makes sense because it's who you became. It's things you overcame, things you let go of, things you through that let you get to where you are and hold on to what you had and finally feel fulfilled that it doesn't even matter that you got there anymore. It's so inspiring that you were actually able to do that. Now, any sacrifice or compromise is seen as temporary. It's more of, okay, is this in line with where I'm headed and what I'm inspired to accomplish? Well, no. So I'm going to put it aside right now. I'm going to put aside what I want now for what I want most. And it's not seen as a sacrifice or compromise because we are choosing to let it go. Whereas when we're in a state of motivation, we feel like we have to let it go. It also serves everyone's higher good. Now, I am going to pop in a link really quick for you guys. And give me 1 second here. Oh, did it work? Give me 1 second. Shane, can you go in the control room and check that? The broadcast offer. It's not coming up. Anyway, guys, I have a webinar coming up on January 22nd. Now, in that webinar, some of you may know this already, but I'm going to discuss everything I did, everything I went through, including skill sets I learned, skill sets I refined, skill sets that I'm still learning and cultivating, as well as the foundational fact that there was personal growth that I had to accomplish over this past year to be able to grow 5 Bitcoin into actually over 726 as of today. Okay. Now that did not come without kicking and screaming and tantrums. And I'm going to be completely transparent and share with you guys exactly what I went through. So you can see what I mean about this inner shift and this inner growth and the fact that I was carried through to completion, guys. This is so massive. And it doesn't even matter the money. Like, yeah, the money is great, but what I have accomplished in my growth and my relationship with my daughter and the friendship I've cultivated with Shane and the other people I've met, it doesn't even matter. I mean, the money's great, but it doesn't matter. It's like I haven't even spent it yet, and I've been allowed to spend it since December 24th because I had a commitment to not spend it for a year. I've been allowed to spend it for, I don't know. I don't even know. That's the funny thing. I don't even know. And before I broke through some of these walls, I was counting the days. I had the pictures of what I was going to buy on that day. Now it's like, interesting. Let's see what I'm going to do. Shane, I'll compose myself while you take.
Yeah, guys,
put in the link up for everybody.
That's awesome, Aaron. I'm super proud of you, bro. You've crushed out this last 12 months like an absolute rock star. It's incredible watching the journey that you've been on, and so it's it's an honorable path that you're taking on here. And guys, when it comes to motivation, look, motivation is the milk, inspiration is the meat. It's nice to be motivated. It's like go to the gym, get motivated by a personal trainer, scroll and troll through Instagram on Facebook and look at other people's lives, and seeing what you're lacking in your life and trying to find it in other people's lives. But guys, inspiration is when you're self-made, self-driven, self-motivated. You don't need to be told what to do. You don't need to be told, hey, listen, go work on your business. You don't need to be told, hey, listen, it's time to go and eat more kale salad, or hey, what you should do right now is focus really hard on your business. Guys, listen, inspiration comes from within, and it's a fire. So motivation might be a spark, and look, so it's kind of like pulling the lawnmower. Okay, that's what motivation is. It's like pulling the chain on the lawnmower. It's like I'm motivated, I'm motivated, I'm motivated. And some people, listen, you've got to be. Maybe you're motivated by listening to us talk right now. Maybe not. But once the engine's going, you're inspired. You're on inspire. You do not need to be told. You're self-driven. So the question is, are you only motivated in your life right now, or are you truly living an inspired life? Listen, when I say that, what comes to mind for you? We're going to talk about words in a minute. We're going to talk about how we get messed up on words. But when I say inspired, do you think that if I say you're living an inspired life, that you're supposed to live like you're supposed to already be super famous and successful and have millions of dollars? No. Look, my mom has an inspired life. She's a great mom. She does her job. She's a carer. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. She's one of the best people I've ever met in my life. She just has an inspired life. She does the things. She takes care of her family. She takes care of my grandma. She's an inspired life. She never has to be told what to do. She doesn't need motivation. She's just a beautiful person. She's found peace within herself, in her heart and her soul, and that's the only place that she comes from. Okay, so motivation is like if you got to get your butt off the couch. Okay, if you got to stop eating, junk food all day long. If you got to do something, that's great. But guys, listen, we want to show you how to get inspired. So go ahead and you can get on to the next slide there.
All right, so the last thing I want to say, guys, on this one is that, and again, I'm talking about the facets of love, like acceptance and awareness, that if you are not yet able to do what you love, if you're not able to do what you love, whether it be with your spending more time with your family, whether it be freely travel, whether it be to buy the things you want, whatever it is, if you're not able to yet do what you love, allow us to guide you into how to love what you do, because that's actually foundational for you to be able to shift to doing what you love. And again, loving what you do doesn't mean that you're resigning to what you're doing and I'm stuck here now. It means you're aware, you are accepting, and you're allowing what is right now, which will allow you to shift to what you actually are wanting and going to be choosing. Okay? So, okay, real quickly, you are abundance. Okay, so remember, we're talking about that flow from the outside in. With that flow from the outside in also comes the conditioning of, came the conditioning of good, bad, right, or wrong, and comes with every other conditioning of duality that you've ever been taught, that there's this or that. There's patience and impatience, okay? Now, when you flow from within, there is no more being patient or being impatient. There is only patience itself flowing through you. Even in those areas where your outer self is still impatient, when you shift it, you are flowing through your outer self of impatient with patience, with acceptance, with understanding. The same is true with abundance. I see it all over the internet, all over people's timelines that, attract abundance. I want to be in abundance. Learn how to flow in abundance. Guys, you have been flowing in abundance since the day you were born. You are flowing so masterfully with abundance right now in every single area of your life. The term scarcity is a created term to define a duality of good, bad, right, or wrong. Scarcity is things I don't like. Abundance is things I do like. If I have an abundance of things I don't like, I'm going to call it scarcity. But guess what, guys? You've been flowing. It's not what we do. It's how we flow, okay? Abundance has been flowing through everything you do. I have a person I'm coaching who is working on getting out of her job that she doesn't like. She actually loathes it to a degree. She started it 10 years ago. Why? Because she had to have a job. Reactive. She motivated herself to get that job. She motivated herself to be on time every day, to be one of the best people working there. And that's called self-discipline, by the way. So when you tell me you don't have self-discipline, listen close, because she told me she had no self-discipline. She self-disciplined herself through motivation to get to that job for 10 years, to be one of the top at that job for 10 years, to literally, to flow through it with such a level of mastery in refining her skill sets in that job. Now she can do it with her eyes closed, okay? She self-disciplined herself. Somebody, mind you, who said, I have no self-discipline, self-disciplined herself to reach self-mastery, to reach what? Peace and ease and freedom. That's another thing that every single one of you guys have right now. Mm-hmm. She self-disciplined herself in something she didn't love for 10 years to a place of self-mastery to where she can freely do it without even thinking now. It's like she could do it sleepwalking. Right? She has peace and ease and freedom because she self-disciplined herself, because she reached self-mastery, because she flowed abundance through that. Now, finances. Well, I'm not abundance in my finances. I have so much debt. Oh, really? You have an abundance of debt? Oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. How am I going to pay my bills? Oh, so you have an abundance of complaints about your debt, right? Guys, all what I'm saying here is simple. It's the flow. Okay, there's no duality called scarcity unless you want to understand the truth of that, which scarcity just means abundance is flowing to things I don't want, and I want it to flow to things I do want, and then I'll call it abundance, right? So what you've actually done is hung up in the neocortex again, thinking it's what you're doing. It's not. It's the flow. Einstein says this: the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Einstein was not talking about what you do. He was talking about how you flow through what you do. So that whole concept, that whole truth is changing the way you're flowing through what you do. Sometimes what you do doesn't even change. You hate what you do. You want to move into something that you love to do. Well, guess what? You're going to have to flow through that, loving it with acceptance before you're able to move. That's what Einstein's talking about. So people think, oh, I don't like this job. I need to find a new job. This workout didn't work, so I need to find the next one because that's the answer. That's the solution. That's not true. It's the flow through it. As soon as you guys decide to show up and grow up within yourself in whatever you're doing, that's when you're going to break through. And as I'm going to pass this back to Shane, as Shane says, that ceiling is saran wrap.
Yeah, you guys, Aaron, by the way, you just rocked that. And it is really interesting. I want to talk about going back into what Aaron was talking about, how he was able to follow that flow and turn 4 Bitcoin into almost 800 Bitcoin in like a year and a half. Now, obviously, we're not financial advisors. We're not talking about money here. We're talking about how to flow with gratitude and having the right mindset around things. And so Aaron caught me the other day because, the price of Bitcoin, and again, it's nothing to do with Bitcoin. It's just attachments and associations with stuff, where the price of Bitcoin yesterday or the day before dropped like 10%. Okay, now I got Bitcoin I'm holding. And Aaron, I was talking to him yesterday actually, or the day when it was, and he was out, because I don't know, his intuition is so good. And I saw the price of Bitcoin going and blah, 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 blah. And it looked like it was going to stay at about 4,000. All of a sudden, I literally grabbed my phone and the price had just tanked, like this massive drop off. Now, here's the best part. I had reached a place where I had such non-attachment to that it didn't affect me at all. I'm like, oh, cool, not a big deal. Now, backtrack, not even a month ago, I was really struggling when I saw ups and downs like that because some part of me was focused on scarcity. And it's really interesting because, I would say this, like learning how to trade Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff can really get you to know yourself, because it'll start uprooting parts of you that you might not be aware of, because you see energy is attached to, like your emotions are attached to money. When money's going up, you feel good. When it starts tanking, you feel a little bit scared, or frightened or nervous and unsettled. And so previously, when I saw something like that, if it had happened to me, I used to get really nervous and I'd get into a very reactive nature, almost like, oh no, what's happening to me? What am I doing? How do I fix this? I'm in crisis mode. But I've reached a place with calmness, with certainty, with awareness, with confidence, and learning how to play the infinite game. And we'll talk about that. That when I see something like that happen, wait a second, it's going to come back up. It's okay. Just hold. And I reached this place of calmness. Now, that was a personal feat for me to realize, because I live in abundance. I travel all over the world. I've got a beautiful wife. I've got a nice dog. Like, my life is good, but there's obviously, it's not perfect. There's issues that come up. I have things, I face all the same realities of this world that you face. There's no real difference. You know what I mean? But my perception on things is to always be grateful for everything. Everything is actually happening for me. And what Aaron was talking about before is at your job. A lot of people, they're working a job, and our job here, what we really want to accomplish is to, if we can't help you achieve better, like maybe time and financial freedom, at least help you achieve a better mindset and understanding and appreciation for where you are at in your life. Because if you're faithful in a little, you can be trusted with a lot. You'll be faithful with a lot. And some people, they whine and complain about their jobs, that they're not happy with their job. I was always happy. Like, I've done stuff. I've been a janitor. I was an umpire. I remember getting hit with baseballs and, dodging those suckers. It was for Little League. So, they got lousy aim, right? And I was, I remember cleaning toilets. I've been construction worker. I've been roofing. I've done hard physical labor. I did cell phone sales at a place I didn't make a whole lot of money, and but at the same time, I always learned how to appreciate what little I was given, what little I had, and from that place of acceptance, because do you understand that if you love your job or don't love your job, it has absolutely nothing to do with your job. It has nothing to do with what you do. It has everything to do with how you are, who you are, what's going on here and here, the programs you're running, the inner voice you're listening to. Be grateful for what you do have. Focus on the good things you've got. And trust me, more will come when you focus on the gratefulness for what you have. You are always in the river of life. Life is a river. It's an abundant, ever-flowing river. And that's what we're going to talk about next. I think on the next slide, is that the river slide, or did I skip ahead a little bit?
No, you skipped ahead. We're going to move into the power of words. Guys, this is the last section before we give the giveaway. So stick with us on that, because words are very powerful. How you speak to yourself, how you speak to others, how you speak to creation is very, very powerful. So moving into this initially, I want to talk about the difference between the word but and the word and. Now, but separates things and brings things together. And what I mean by that is most people are going through life taking one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back, and then complaining like, why am I not getting anywhere? What's wrong? I don't understand, right? They're saying, like, if they're working on, let's say they're trying to get in shape, they're like, I went to the gym today, but I didn't eat very well. Or I worked on my business for a little bit, but I also binge watch Netflix. So they're saying a positive step forward, and then they're saying a negative step back. And I'm going to pass this on to Shane and let him run with this one.
Yeah, guys. So we talked last week about how a lot of people have a great vision, but vision. In other words, I was talking to a guy, and I just replay this story, but I was talking to a guy on New Year's who was giving me a vision about some things that he wanted to accomplish and some dreams that he had. He was telling me his vision. And every time he got to what he wanted, he always finished it by saying, but you know what? It's hard to get that, but it's, you got to make these relationships. But the reality is it's hard to find the good people that I can use to do this thing that he wanted to do. And he kept saying, but, and I said, stop right there. That's the problem. That's what's going to slow things down, because the word but separates, and it literally deletes and erases everything that came before it. So you have to use that word very carefully. I'm not saying never use the word but. Obviously, it's part of our human language. However, if you can shift the word from but to using the word and, all of a sudden things can start to flow. Now we're going to build this up. We're going to do some addition and then some subtraction here. We're going to show you guys a little bit of a different paradigm shift on these words, but the power of words are very, very important. Listen, and again, I talked about this earlier in a webinar we did at 3:00, but it's not just the word, it's the energy that and the intentionality associated with that word. Okay, I'll give you a quick example here. The word righteous. How does that sit with you? The word righteous. I just want you to think about that. Where does that sit with you? Now, I've interviewed people and I've asked them what their thoughts are on the word righteous. So I have this, for me personally, and based on what the word righteous means, it means to do what is good, what is right, what is noble, what is virtuous, what is true and honorable. Righteous is a good, solid, divine type of word. However, I have a friend a really good friend of mine, and he moved over here from Mexico, and the word righteous for him, in his mind, based off of, I think a strong Catholic upbringing and his paradigm and the way that word was ever used when he was growing up, it had a negative association. His mind had a negative word. That word meant elitist, meant self-righteous, meant conquerors and people who are cruel and vicious. He had this association with that word. So when I explained to him what the word actually means, all of a sudden it spun a different light on it. However, there's an energy associated with that. So it's, again, when you think about words, I want you to listen to words, but use wisdom to discern the intentionality and the energy associated with the word being used. We have a lot of political correctness going on in the world right now because people are micro-triggered, totally triggered by someone using this word or that word. But they take it out of context because their worldview gives them a very negative energy associated with this word or that word or the other word. Rather than listening with non-attachment to the what their association with word is, rather than listening with wisdom to what the intentionality of what that person meant with that word, they're prejudging and creating their own meaning for that word. So again, the power of words is very important, but the word itself isn't as important as the intentionality and the energy and the meaning intended with the use of that word. Now, I just probably went a little bit deep there on you guys, but it's very important to understand this. So, but separates and brings together. Let's get our vocabulary rocking here, guys. Now, is the next word on here?
Real quick, Shane, what do you think? Before we go into these next two words, I'm going to publish a poll, everybody, and I want you guys to take just a brief 10 seconds and go in and give us a little insight on what you were working on achieving this year. And then I'm going to go into the next couple words here, and then we're going to get to the giveaway and some announcements. So go ahead to that poll right now and give us your answer on the poll. And in about 10 seconds, I'll move into the next words. And you like what's that show? I can't even think of that TV show that goes ding, 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 ding.
I don't think that people on Facebook will be able to see the poll, but the people who are on our webinar right now, for you guys, you can see the poll. The people who are not on our webinar and you're watching this live on Facebook, you cannot see the questionnaire. So, Aaron, why don't you go ahead and ask them what the questions are?
Sure. For those on Facebook and Instagram, the questions are, what's your biggest goal for 2019? Number 1, achieving financial wealth. Number 2, achieving better health. Or number 3, spending more time with loved ones. So you can do a 1, 2, 3. You can say financial wealth, better health, loved ones, however you want to answer that. All right, we're getting some population in here into the poll. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward here. So guys, the next words, okay. Speaking what you want to create, okay? So this is what I was talking about, the buts and the ends and how we flow, okay? You have to speak from a space of love. You have to flow through with what you want to create with love, which means acceptance in this case, okay? So it usually is, I don't want that, I don't like that, I want this. You're taking a step forward and a step back, step forward. You're not getting anywhere. Now it's, I accept this, I understand this is where I'm at, this is not where I'm headed, I am making a choice to go here with acceptance, and you speak towards what you create, not what you don't like. Your words are so powerful. You want to literally say, the statement of I want to be financially free means something completely different than I want to be debt free. The word debt is in there. I want to be free of debt. I want to not have bills. I want, you're literally trying to say something positive, but you're actually saying something negative. And the words you're saying is what you're focused on and what you will attract. So you want to shift those words. I want to be healthy, not I want a better body. What am I talking about there? My worst body. My focus is on my worst body when I say I want a better body, right? Follow me on that? Okay, so keep that in mind when you're creating. Watch this webinar again on that one. And then I want this, I choose this. Okay, everybody walks around going, I don't like this, I want that. I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I want this, I don't want that, I want this, I want that, I don't, back and forth. Categorizing everything they want. I want to get a better job. I want a better relationship. I want to get along with my wife. I want to spend more time with my kids. I want to get in shape. I want to go on vacation. Guys, do you get there? No. You have to shift to an action. Wanting is not an action. It's just wanting. Choosing is different. I choose to spend more time with my children. I choose to have a better relationship. I choose to get in good physical health. Okay? When you make a choice, you actually initiate action. You initiate that flow. You start the shift. Okay? Shane, go ahead.
Yeah, guys, when it comes to choice, I'm going to quote a good friend of mine named Udo Erasmus, and he said, everybody wants the best Well, we all do. We all want to have the best stuff in life. There's no hiding that. We all do. We naturally, but the problem is we don't naturally just drift into the best. In order to have the best, it requires deliberate choice, and that choice can only come from knowledge. But in order to find the knowledge, you also have to educate yourself on making better choices. You have to choose to seek the knowledge. Aaron, we lost the slide deck. It's a black screen right now.
I'm working on it. My screen just did a little hiccup, so give me a second.
Okay, yeah, no worries, guys. So what I would encourage you to do to have a good takeaway from this is simply start asking yourself and asking other people better questions. Like, ask more why. Like, why this? Why that? Why do you want something? Why do you want something? I want you to get so crystal clear by asking why. Ask why like 7 times. If you want something, whatever your goal, whatever your dream, whatever it is, you got to ask deeper. So you say, okay, well, I want to have time freedom. Why? Well, because I want to be able to spend more time with my family and traveling and hiking. And why? Well, because I want to be able to feel good and not have to answer to somebody. And I want to make sure I'm there for my family if they ever need me. Why? Well, because, my dad has this problem, or my mom has this, or my cousins have this issue, or something. Well, why? And you just keep asking deeper questions, keep going deeper, because that's going to get you more clear on your why. When you understand how to start from your why, then all of your choices will graph that, because when you're super clear on your why, you'll know what you want, because it will reorganize your priorities, and all of your decisions, your choices, your actions, and everything will flow from that. So it's not just about, I want to go to the gym every day. Why? Well, I want to feel better. Why? So I look good in this shirt. Why? Okay, because people's opinions matter to me. Why? Well, because when I was 4 years old, I was really, when I was a young kid, I never had any friends. Why? Well, because I was really antisocial. Why? So just dig deep. And then, then you're like, oh, wait a second. So I was antisocial because I wasn't, this happened or this situation happened. Well, I now have a cause. I want to help families understand nutrition. I want to help people have better health, because that affects the mind. And when I was a kid and I had social problems, it was really because I wasn't getting any nutrition, and there's things going on in my life, my parents, and this and that. But all of that stems. So boom, now I understand why I'm more clear on why I want to help people have better health. Why do I want to have better health? Now I'm coming from a place of, I found something. See, I went all the way back in my life, and I kept asking why, till I found a commonality, a problem, an issue that I can come from. Boom. From that place, now I can build something. Now I can go somewhere. Now I know where my languaging is focused, and I can start to get better results. Let's talk about a simple, powerful tweak.
I'm still having an issue with the slides, but at least I got them working again. I was going to put this in the chat too, guys, but Shane just nailed that home, how to find that deeper why and how to really find that inspiration rather than motivation. And I will be coming out with a book this year that I'm going to be giving away called Know Your Why, Know Your Way. Again, I'm going to be giving it away, so I'm not trying to get you to buy something at the moment. But you can go to knowyourwhy.com or flowfromwhy.com and learn more about that. So moving on, guys, a powerful tweak. This is so simple that when I learned it, it literally just, the clouds cleared. It was crazy when I first learned this. So I'm going to talk about the first half of this. There's 2 different words that we use in our life, and I'm going to talk about the word and, not the word and as it applies to the word but. Not the word and as it applies to your butts, but the word and as it applies to what I'm talking about here, okay? So when I was in my best shape, when I was a fitness model, I owned a supplement store. I worked out twice a day. I had a kitchen in the store, and I had a bedroom in the store. So I was literally working out, eating, sleeping, working out, eating, sleeping, working out, eating, sleeping. Perfect recipe to be in just perfect shape, right? So ever since that stopped, I started doing different things in life. I opened some gyms. I got a family, kids, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? And no joke, I gained pound for pound what my wife gained with our daughter. Pound for pound, I gained it. You call it sympathy weight whatsoever, but I gained 60 pounds. It was nuts, okay? So I wanted to get back into shape. This word and is so powerful and so debilitating until you realize what it really does. Now, if I told you that you guys were all or nothing, some of you would say, oh, I'm not all or nothing, but listen to what I have to say here. When I decided to get back into shape, I was like, okay, I thought about my past. I can't really do that. Okay, what do I need to do to get in shape? I need to work out every day, and I need to do cardio, and I need to eat healthy, and I need to take some supplements, and I need to get a good night's sleep, and. I set myself up for failure because you can't do all those things. You can't. You will do some of them, but you can't do them all. So what would happen is I would get going for Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, and I'd fall off again for a week and a half. Then I come back on Monday. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do my cardio. I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to get a nice, good night's sleep, blah, 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 right? And guess what? It wouldn't happen. It would unravel. So I was talking to one of my mentors about this, and he introduced me to this and situation, and he introduced me to a new word called or. Now, you've heard me talk about this, Shane talk about this, or you will hear us talk about this, is that, and you'll hear the whole thing, but it's not the destination, it's the journey. If you want to get to the summit of the mountain, you have to take every step. You don't jump from the bottom to the top. You take every step. You understand you take every step. Every step is a success. Not just the last step to the summit, but every step from word go, from that first step to the 50,000th step or whatever it is, to that last step is success. So the word or works like this. Remember, the other one was all or nothing. It would unravel. I would never get there. I try to motivate myself, and inevitably 2 or 3 days, I'm done. So I am successful when I work out, or when I eat a healthy meal, or when I get a good night's sleep, or when I do cardio, or when I take my supplements. Success on every single one of those. Now, when you really deep dive and understand how comical this is, in that and phase, in order for me to truly be successful, in that flow state of motivation where I believed I had to do all those things to be in shape, literally what I was telling my brain is that in order to be successful, I would need to have weights in one hand, I would need to be running on a treadmill, eating a meal, and taking a nap all at the same time. All at the same time. It had to be done, or else I would not be in shape. It doesn't work that way. Every single step to the summit, every single step to the gym, from the bedroom to the car to the gym to the workout, from the workout back home. Every step looking for a new job, every step building your own business, every step rekindling the relationship you're in or seeking a relationship that's better for you. Every single step is success, not the destination. Okay? Shane, you got anything to share on this one?
Yeah, guys, it's just called, like we said, don't use the word but when you're speaking about things are things that you want, because it negates everything that came before it. When you use the word and, it's a powerful word. I want this and that. Why have either or, right? But there's a difference between either or and I'm healthy if I go to the gym or if I eat this kale salad right now. It's not talking about either or. It's another way to use the word. And again, going back to, it's the intention, it's the meaning, it's the energy with that word. So if you go, listen, I gotta go to the gym, and I gotta go to this, I gotta pay my bills, and I gotta make some money, I gotta make these phone calls, I gotta do this, and I gotta do that, and I gotta do it. It's overwhelming. You can't eat an elephant all at once. You gotta one bite at a time. So remove the word but. Use the word and for things that you want to do, because you don't have to have either or, but then you break it down into, I'm okay with if I do this or if I do this as options. So you're compartmentalizing, you're breaking it down into everything is abundance, everything is options, everything is choice. And now you can make better choices. So all of them are great choices, and you learn how to make better choices, right? Anyways, that's it, guys. So remove the buts and connects things. However, break it all down with ors.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, guys. So the last little bit there last slide before we go into the giveaway, okay, is so we talked a little bit about this in the beginning, but what we are as 7-Day Weekend Mentors is we want to share with you completely transparently the pain and the pleasure, the happiness and the sadness, the joy and the struggles and stuff that we have gone through to show you how we've gotten to where we are. And hopefully by doing so, by holding your hand through some of these things that are new for you, that you don't understand, that you feel overwhelmed with, come to us. We will guide you through it. That's not a pitch, guys. We're doing these webinars for free. It's not about that. We want to give back. We have been blessed so much in our lives that we just want to help people. I really want to help people. I see people struggling every day, and I know that I can help them if they just reach out and ask. So with that being said, Shane talks a lot about the boat and being the captain of your own ship and how the boat is going down the river and whatnot. And one of the things that really, really helped me once was Shane. And I can't believe I choke up about this every time I say it. It just started welled up right when I started saying it. Is Shane and I have this relationship where we show each other everything. We're transparent. We fall apart in front of each other. We've seen each other's darkness and the light, and we accept each other completely for that way. There's no bringing down the respect or honor of each other. I still listen to everything he has to say. He listens to everything I have to say, because we are not mistaking our actions and our habits and our patterns as who we are. We understand there are things that we're unraveling, that we're shifting, and that we're refining. So with that, I was in a big struggle back in July, I want to say it was, with Shane. When I first met him in person, right? We'd met before online and seen each other on Skype, but I first met him in person. And I went to this meeting with him to meet him in Vancouver with the intention of keeping it suppressed. I was not going to talk about it, but it became so painful that I had to, right? And I had those feelings of, oh my God, he's going to think that I'm not this person that I was. He's going to think I'm not successful. I had all these thoughts like he's going to think this, I'm crazy, whatever it was, right? All those thoughts are going. The stories thoughts are going. And he wasn't. He was compassionate. He was understanding. He listened. He guided me. I never felt judged. And you know what he said to me when I came to him and thanked him for that? So freaking simple. It was so funny. I even had this fear of like, do I bring it back up? There's still fear that I'm going to thank him for this, but is it going to make him think that I'm still crazy? You know what he said when I talked about that? He said, dude, if there's a hole in the boat, you got to plug the boat before you get it going again. That's all I did was plug the boat. Let's go. That's it. That's all he said. And I'm like, oh. So that being said, on that trip, I took a picture of Shane and a picture of me. And this is what we do for people, guys. And I basically want to show you this. And this was me, and this is Shane. And I'm going to let Shane talk about this the rest of the way.
Yeah, hey guys. So, and thanks, Aaron. That's awesome. And like guys, I'll just sum this up because I know it's almost been an hour here. It's been about an hour. We want to wrap this up in like a couple minutes. We're going to go real quick here, but look, life is a river. We're all in this river together, okay? And some of us are in boats. Some of us are in canoes. Some of us are in kayaks. Some of us are in little rubber dinghies. Some of us are in cruise ships and yachts. But guys, unfortunately, way too many people are floating down the river of life without even a paddle or any floating device. Like they're literally just floundering their arms. And maybe that's you right now. Okay, if that's you right now and you feels like you're just coming up for air and life is beating you down. Look, life gets hard, guys. We're not sitting here saying, hey, life is so peachy and listen to this webinar. Look, maybe you're going through a real hard financial hardship right now. Maybe you have a relationship issue going on right now. Maybe you've got an addiction that you're really struggling with right now. Maybe you've done something that, publicly or privately that you're ashamed of, that's beating you up. Maybe you're in a real breakdown or whatever it is that might be happening in your life. Maybe you're flourishing, great, but every single one of us at some point, we just have to realize this, is we all need help. I needed help. I still need help. I always am asking for help in positive ways to the right people, because there's always a hand up. I'm not out there for handouts. I want hand ups. And the minute that we can humble ourselves to ask for help, see, those people who are floundering in the river, you got to realize that every day, all the time, there's help. There's always someone who's got a boat, who's coming down, who's like sailing along, and they can just simply reach a hand over. But if you have the wrong mindset, if you choose, if you're drowning in the river and there's some people you see you're having a good time in a boat, and they don't even see you drowning in the river, and you're looking at them and you're thinking, oh, they're making fun of me. They're laughing at how I'm struggling in this water. Why don't they help me, those jerks? So many people in the world think that way. But guys, listen, all you got to do is like, hey, I need some help. And that's what we're here for at 7-Day Weekend Mentors, is to help you. You're an entrepreneur. Maybe you're not an entrepreneur. Maybe you're whatever you are, wherever you are, whoever you are. We want to be able to help you unbreak the programs, the things that are going on in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, to help you get clear on who you are, what your purpose is, and where you really want to do, and help you get into a boat. Maybe you just want to get into a canoe. Maybe you want to get into a yacht. Maybe you want to get into a cruise ship. Whatever it is, there's room for you guys, but you need structure, you need guidance, and sometimes you just have to have a friend who can show you where the hole is. Maybe you got a boat and you're taking on a lot of water, right? Maybe you had a boat, it was really good, and now you're like swimming. Guys, that boat's still tied to your feet. We just got to get that sucker back up on the surface and get the water out. And there's so many ways that we can help you. So this is life, guys. This is what 7-Day Weekend Mentor is all about. This is the heart of where we're at. And with that being said, we're going to go right into two things, guys. So we're going to have a giveaway right now, and Aaron might want to throw something in. But I know we want to wrap this up in like 2 minutes. We want to be out of here. I actually have to get to another appointment as well. This is really important that I say this, though, guys, is I want you guys to go right now to 7dayweekendmentors.com. 7, like the number 7, just like you see in the logo, 7dayweekendmentors.com. Just pre-register. We're going to have an incredible website that we're building with so much awesome value that you can actually use real stuff. Not only are we going to have stuff that you can take away, great mental hacks, health hacks, life hacks, relationship hacks, things that you can use. I shouldn't even use the word hacks, but just great advice, wisdom, and experience, and bite-sized little bits that you can take away and start benefiting from. We're also going to have training on how to build up your media, build up your personal branding. You know, if you want to become an entrepreneur, we've got a step-by-step guide on how to overcome all of the struggles because we've been through it all. We know what it is that you're going to be facing. I wish in my journey earlier that I had strong mentors who had the experience on how to manage wealth when you started achieving it, how to do this, how to do that. Those people weren't there, so I had to learn a lot of things the hard way, and so did Aaron. So what I could do is just tell you this. You know, the path of success leads to the palace of wisdom, and there's 2 ways to get there. A, you could go the hard way, or B, you could listen to someone who's already been. And that's what we want to do, guys. We're going to show you how to get there. So with that, we're going to go right into our giveaway. We're giving away, what is it, Aaron?
Well, we've been on the focus of attuning your mindset for success. And so with that being said, we are giving you guys, if I can get the slide to work again, right? A 1 month subscription to Audible. We haven't picked the book yet, but we're going to pick a book that Shane and I feel is the best one to get you guys started on. I wanted to wait to pick the book, or I realized I wanted to wait to pick the book because I wanted to tune into who actually wins it. So in a minute, Shane's going to give you a phrase. Now, we got a lot of people on the webinar here, a lot of people on Facebook, a lot of people on Instagram. So you got to listen closely. He's going to give you a phrase. And then when he says go, the first person to type that phrase in the chat or in the messenger or into, wherever you're watching us is going to win this gift card. So again, wait till he's done saying the phrase and he says go. Take it away, Shane.
All right, the very first person, we're paying close attention. The first person who writes it in the chat box right here is going to win this prize. Are you ready? I will be a voice, not an echo. Go. I will be a voice, not an echo.
Love that. Love that. All right, who's it going to be? We're watching.
Come on, guys. Type. Let's go. Who's going to bring it in?
Wow.
Okay, Sherry got it in first. Good job.
Nice.
Okay. Boom.
Awesome.
All right.
Reach out to Shane or I on Messenger after this, and we will get your email, and it will be on its way to you tonight.
All right, Sherry, congratulations. I'm going to save your email here just to make sure I got that, and I'm going to message that over to Aaron. Okay, guys, we got to wrap this up. We appreciate you having taken this time to enjoy this with us. We will be on next Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to 7DWM webinar to register for the last one. If you've already registered for this one, you should get an email to be able to subscribe to all upcoming webinars. And we love you guys. We appreciate you. We hope you have an amazing week.
Good night, guys.